Game over. Boeing has been pushed to the brink with Starliner. Starliner, once anticipated to become Boeing's superior product, one that could even surpass SpaceX's Dragon, and attracting so much attention from both industry insiders and the general public since its launch, now looks a total joke. After a decade of development, Starliner managed to crawl to its first manned test flight. Meanwhile, Dragon accomplished this feat a full 5 years ago. This means that Starliner had 5 more years than Dragon to optimize. Yet what on earth did they create? Take a look at Boeing's so-called optimized spacecraft. Despite its 15-foot diameter, slightly larger than Dragon, the interior space is shockingly cramped. What hits you immediately is a mess of chaotic control panels, littered with manual buttons that seem like relics from the shuttle era. Then, glance at SpaceX's Dragon. Even though it came earlier, it embodies the future with sleek touchscreens and high-level automation. These two spacecraft, supposedly contemporaries, seem to come from entirely different technological eras. All right, function over form. So, let's consider their reliability. Boeing boasts about Starliner's reusability up to 10 times, with a turnaround time of just 6 months. Sounds impressive, right? But the harsh reality. The first test flight blatantly exposed its undeniable incompetence. Instead of a proud milestone, Starliner is nothing but a colossal disappointment, a testament to Boeing's outdated and inept performance in the space sector. Because the most notable achievement of Boeing's Starliner up to now is threatening the lives of 2 NASA astronauts. For the past 2 months, the media and public have been relentlessly criticizing and expressing disappointment in Boeing's technical capabilities. With each passing day, faith in their ability dwindled further. In a desperate attempt to quell the storm of public outrage, on August 3, 2024, Boeing threw out a bunch of test statistics. 7 ground tests of a reaction control system, RCS thruster, pulled from the Starliner 1 service module. Roughly 100,000 computer model simulations representing potential variables and conditions Starliner could experience during undocking, the deorbit burn and landing. Use of new tools to profile instances of RCS thruster degradation, showing Starliner's ability to fly a nominal deorbit burn profile. 3 backup control entry training runs by Commander Butch Wilmore using Boeing's onboard crew training simulator, and numerous other tests. Boeing claims they are still confident in the Starliner spacecraft and its ability to return safely with the crew. They assert that they will continue to support NASA's requirements for additional testing, data analysis, and evaluation to affirm the spacecraft's ability to safely undock and land. But it's all a joke. Boeing does not get it at all. No one cares about the number of tests they have done. The public wants to know the root cause of the failure, concrete solutions, and most importantly, the safety of the astronauts. 2 months have passed, and instead of presenting a pointless PowerPoint slide detailing every task undergone, they should have offered a responsible answer, something meaningful and informative. But it seems Boeing is clueless. They haven't got an answer for themselves. The Starliner program is now an irredeemable mess. And do you know the most horrifying part? NASA has poured $4.5 billion into this mess. The space agency has been tightening its belt for decades due to budget cuts, yet it accepted to spend a massive sum on this failed program. This is not just a waste of resources, but a slap in the face to taxpayers and a blow to public trust in Boeing. Grant Tremblay, a member of the NASA Astrophysics Advisory Committee, said about the budget crisis happening in the national agency on X. Morale at NASA is perhaps at a 20-year low, but it's bad. We have to keep things together. This is a survival mode budget, but it's not clear that much is surviving. It seems that NASA is really facing a tough situation right now, with low morale among its staff and limited budgets, which could jeopardize many of its projects and objectives. 10 years ago, Boeing was seen as America's hope for transporting people to the ISS. In 2011, NASA's shuttle program ended, forcing the agency to rely on Russia's Soyuz to send astronauts to the ISS. It was a bitter, costly situation that weakened America's position in the space race. To escape this reliance on Russia, NASA launched the Commercial Crew Program, CCP, in 2010. The idea sounded great. Let private companies handle the space taxi business, while NASA focused on grander dreams, like conquering the Moon and Mars. The result? By 2014, 2 giants, Boeing and SpaceX, secured lucrative contracts. But here's the shocking part. NASA generously awarded Boeing $4.2 billion, 1.6 times the amount given to SpaceX. Not only that, they even handed Boeing an additional $287.2 million. In total, Boeing pocketed a staggering $449 billion, an unbelievable amount. And the ticket price on Starliner? Equally sky high. A 2019 report from NASA estimated each seat on Starliner to cost $90 million, while SpaceX only charged $55 million for one. But the reality is even more horrifying. If you divide the total contract value by the 6 flights NASA purchased from Starliner, that's 24 astronauts, Each ticket on Starliner costs a whopping $187 million, and even more expensive than a seat on Russia's Soyuz, $86 million. So in fact, there's nothing cost-effective about this at all. Meanwhile, SpaceX not only became the first private company to conquer the ISS, but also freed America from the shackles of reliance on Russia. And they did it at an incredibly economical $55 million per seat as promised. Look at Boeing, and you see a pitifully laughable picture. NASA handed them a massive amount of money to develop Starliner. Boeing promised it would be ready by the end of 2017. Now, 7 years later, Starliner remains a distant dream. Even worse, the next manned flight of Starliner won't be allowed to happen within the next year. This delay is not only a shame for Boeing, but also a burden for NASA. The American Space Agency is forced to buy additional flights from SpaceX to maintain its presence on the ISS. Specifically, NASA awarded 5 additional crew transportation missions to SpaceX and its Crew Dragon. With this move, SpaceX now has 14 confirmed flights to the ISS through 2030, when the ISS is scheduled to retire. NASA has chosen to place its trust in SpaceX, a company that has proven its ability to meet commitments with reasonable costs and remarkable efficiency. At least NASA has adapted swiftly and recognized the best deal. SpaceX not only delivers better value, but also ensures the stability and reliability that Boeing fails to provide. Currently, NASA and SpaceX are actively working to extend reusability certification for Dragon, ensuring timely additional flights. Since 2016, Boeing has swallowed a $1.6 billion loss. Most recently, they reported an additional $125 million loss for Starliner, blaming delays in the crewed flight tests. But this is just the tip of the iceberg in Boeing's ocean of losses. When NASA selected Boeing and SpaceX, they signed fixed-price contracts. This means any cost overruns would be borne by the contractors, not the government. And now, Boeing is paying a hefty price for its inefficiency. The situation has become so dire that Boeing has vowed never to compete for a fixed-price contract again. This is not just a technical failure, but a financial disaster for Boeing. In summary, the Starliner mission is a failure, marking a setback for both NASA and Boeing. NASA signed contracts with 2 spacecraft developers to ensure redundancy in space missions. However, while SpaceX's Dragon has been successfully completed and launched for many years now, Boeing's Starliner has faced numerous issues and still cannot get back to Earth. Ironically, this has led to Dragon becoming the backup for Starliner, instead of the other way around. At least for now, NASA and Boeing should thank SpaceX for providing a reliable alternative to bring astronauts home and maintain America's uninterrupted presence on the ISS. The Starliner program is nothing more than a joke. From a project that was supposed to revive Boeing and position it as a competitor to SpaceX, it has become their biggest black mark. It exposes all of Boeing's weaknesses, from technical flaws to poor management and operation. It has financially crippled Boeing and eroded public goodwill towards the company. Moreover, it has even created a golden opportunity for everyone to compare and praise SpaceX. The community is now questioning whether Boeing will scrap this project altogether, as they see that Starliner currently offers no benefit to the company. Continuing the project might cause Boeing even greater financial losses. To date, Boeing still hasn't given us any reliable or truly valuable conclusions. Despite a few press conferences, all the public has received are the ambiguities of the operators and supervisors themselves. NASA also plays a significant role in this flight, so I can somewhat understand NASA's hesitance in revealing the truth. The most obvious thing is the update on NASA's website about Starliner's first manned test mission. I hope that in such high-tech and expensive fields like the space industry, NASA and the companies involved will allow the public easier access and prioritize information transparency. Well, at least this week, NASA and Boeing have promised the community an official announcement about Starliner's return date and whether the astronauts will return on Starliner. Do you want the astronauts to return on Starliner for a complete journey, or are you waiting for a rescue flight from SpaceX? Share your thoughts below. All right. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth looks at the latest advancements in space technology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.